Quick question. When you're buying a resale house, do you know what is a real problem and what's just cosmetic and can get away with later? Hey guys, I'm Chris, your real estate problem solver. And if you're buying a resale house in Middle Georgia, stay tuned, as I'm going to walk you through a split level home in Sonia Heights in Warner Robins, and I'm going to show you what I'm flagging. Roof ages, water damage, window issues, so you don't buy a cute house with ugly surprises. And yes, this is a split level home, which are actually starting to come back into style because you can often get more house for the money. So come on, let's go. Hey guys, all right, we're at 413 Tracy Terrace, and we're going to do a quick walkthrough on this house. And obviously you can see that they need a little hedge trim, but that's not a big deal. We can get that trimmed up pretty easily, and we can even negotiate it in the purchase. It looks like everything on the outside is good, and I'll show you the roof when we get to the backyard because it's easier to see. So the 2-car carport has 2 storage areas that have not been cleaned out yet, and this door does not want to stay closed. That's an easy fix. Plenty of shelving. A little dirty, but I don't see any rot. Wrought iron railing and a typical sidewalk for a 70s or 80s house back when everybody was a little bit thinner. And then open the door, which is still in good condition. Looks like original hardwood floors. Let's see, to the left, we got the ceramic tile flooring in the kitchen. The countertops have been updated, and the original cabinets still look like they're in good shape. Looks like a couple boards have been replaced. That's fresh 1x6s. They did not have a professional cleaner come in and look at this house. If they had had a professional cleaning, it would have looked a whole lot better, but psychologically, we can get past that and make an offer lower because it doesn't look as great, but the repairs or what needs to be done are easy. Trimming the paint off the windshield, windows. Looks like they've painted in the last few years. Ceiling's in good shape. Split level, so the private area upstairs. Hallway with the closet. Linen closet. Ooh, that's deep. You can fit everything in there, including a couple kids. All right. Bathroom's got the original tile, still in good shape. And as I might have mentioned, if we could find somebody, haven't been able to find anybody in a while, but I haven't really looked. We can acid etch the original tile and repaint it. So if you don't like green, I'm pretty sure we can find somebody that can change the color. Now there are a few issues that belongs there. So while they replaced the sink here, somebody broke the drawer, which doesn't look like it's a big problem. I've got somebody who can fix that. More windows that need trimming. Razor blade. Hardwood floors still look good. This is what was originally the master, but it's got a half bath. And then, hey, the mirror, bifold doors. Particle board covers up the back wall, so that would be an interesting question to ask. What are they covering up? Oh, that's the back side of the bathroom, so they probably did a repair in the bathroom and just used a particle board to cover up the wall, which is not a big deal. It's just not professional. And then kids in the room number 1 looks in good shape. And this one's got the same thing. Particle board with pegboard hangers and what's left of the old carpet. So this did have carpet on it at one time. It's probably why it still looks good. Everybody went to carpet in the 80s and 90s and protected this hardwood flooring. I would imagine some of the ceiling fans, well, they work. Okay. Same thing. Pegboard or particle board on the back wall. I wonder if they're using that as a spacer. All right, let's go downstairs. All right, now what originally was a hideaway family area in the lower level looks like it has now become the new master suite. So they've replaced this in the last 5 or 10 years. Same style, but they painted it white. They have not fixed any of the apparent water damage that's in the bathroom. So as long as there's nothing surprising on the backside, that's an easy fix. And the blue tile actually looks good, except for the piece of soap that they left in the shower to wash down the drain, which that's just housekeeping. Now they've got LVP, well, it looks like LVP, laminate flooring, which is fine as long as it stays dry. But on a slab foundation, it's not going to last 10 years. There's the family room on the lower level, which still looks good. And then your own private back patio, which actually does have LVP. I know, because this is the same pattern that we put in a couple of our houses. 2-inch or 6-inch tongue and groove board decking across the top. Window needs replacing. This looks pretty good in here. And let's go on outside while we're here. Okay, the landscaper has on strike because they haven't done any of it, which is not a big deal. That's a weekend warrior type thing. 2 outbuildings, which could probably stand to be lowered so you don't have such a steep ramp going into this one. Little shelter. They're in good condition. And the neighbor has dogs. Now I looked at the roof, and the roof looks like it's about maybe 5 or 10 years old. Looks like it's in good shape. I didn't see anything obvious. The air conditioner looks fairly new. Train. And then, of course, an inspector will go underneath the crawl space and check it out. All the vent holes are open, so it's getting ventilation, so there shouldn't be any moisture issues underneath there. That one's closed. As long as the rest of them are open, that should be pretty fine. All right, back in the lower level. Laundry room is right here on the lower level. And just dirty, nothing out of the ordinary. I would have the inspector check and make sure that the exhaust vent for the dryer is clear and it actually goes all the way outside, which shouldn't be a big deal because that's the front wall right there. Sliding door closets. The hanging clothes rack has seen better days. Now this is the basement per se area, so he's going to have some moisture issues, and whatever was going on in the bathroom actually looks like it may have run over into here, because it looks like that laminate is on top of linoleum. So that might be a turn off. But we can get a contractor, make sure that the inspector has a good look at that. Okay, so let's talk about this cute little split level home. As you can see, there's not a whole lot of issues with the house. Of course, you might not like the paint, and it might be a little bit dated to your taste. But the fact of the matter is, this is a good, solid, structured house. It's got a decent roof. It's got a fairly new air conditioner. So all the major issues with the house have already been taken care of. I didn't see any major structural issues except for the water damage, which popping out a little bit of the drywall and looking behind can relieve any issues that you might have or any concerns that you might have with that. Now, a good contractor can give you an honest, unbiased opinion on what it would take to upgrade and fix those areas. And then upgrading the house itself is more of a personal preference, which you could do that later as you go. And since the house actually wasn't cleaned already, then that kind of deters some people, like I said, and it could end up giving you an advantage. Say, I'll take the house, but there's some issues. And because they didn't clean up, you can use that as kind of a negotiating tactic to get a little bit better price. And then once you go in, just pay somebody $400 and go through it and clean it professionally. And if you need somebody, I've got a network of professionals, and I can refer you to somebody who can go in and do a deep clean on the house before you even move in. Also, I've got a buyer's guide in the description below that goes through pre-approvals, shopping for a lender, and some tips and tricks on buying your next house. So if you have any questions about buying a house in Middle Georgia, make sure to reach out to me, and I'll be right here.